The day my marriage ended didn't begin with shouting. It began with silence. I still remember standing in our spotless kitchen, staring at the marble countertop while my husband Travis held a coffee mug. "The company is restructuring," I said softly. "They're letting senior staff go." For 15 years, I had worked at one of the biggest financial firms in the city. I had sacrificed weekends, birthdays, and sleep. I thought Travis would comfort me. Instead, he laughed. "A pay cut?" he said coldly. "You're 44 years old, Evelyn. You should be at the peak of your career, not begging to keep your job." His words hit harder than the job loss itself. I tried to explain how I had supported him through business school, but Travis only looked around our expensive kitchen and said the words that shattered me completely. "You're useless now." Just like that, 23 years of marriage became a business transaction. Then came the final blow. "I want you out by the end of the week." That night, I packed my clothes into a suitcase while Travis sat in the living room, scrolling through his phone as if nothing had happened. Family photos lined the hallway, vacations, anniversaries, but now they felt like pictures of strangers. When I walked out of the house, I felt terrified. But somewhere beneath the fear, I also felt free. I moved into my younger sister Lydia's tiny apartment. Compared to my old house, it was small, cluttered, and imperfect. Paintings leaned against the walls, coffee mugs sat unwashed, and somehow it felt more like home than the mansion I had just left. One afternoon, Lydia pulled an old dusty box from the closet. Inside were my watercolor paints. "You used to love painting," she said gently. "Remember?" I stared at the brushes like they belonged to another woman. Before Travis, before the corporate world, before I forgot who I was. That evening I sat in Lydia's little garden and painted the sunset. My hands trembled at first, but slowly the colors began to flow, and for the first time in years, I felt alive. Weeks passed. I started rebuilding my life piece by piece. One morning at a coffee shop, I overheard a woman panicking about an art exhibition that was falling apart. Without thinking, I leaned over and said, "I might be able to help." That woman was Diana Blackwell. The Hillcrest Community Arts Center was old and worn down, but I saw something beautiful beneath the peeling paint. Potential. Diana hired me to organize their fundraiser. At first, I doubted myself. I had been told my value depended on money and perfection. But slowly, things changed. I worked with local artists, veterans, and teenagers. I listened to stories of pain, survival, and hope. Art wasn't just decoration there. It was healing. And somehow, while helping others rediscover themselves, I rediscovered myself too. Then one evening, while reviewing the guest list, I saw a familiar name, Travis Mitchell. My stomach tightened. The night of the exhibition arrived. I stood backstage wearing a simple dark blue dress. No expensive jewelry, just me, the real me. The gallery buzzed with laughter and music as guests admired the artwork and listened to stories from the community. And then I saw him. Travis stood near the entrance in his expensive suit, looking strangely uncomfortable. For years, that man had controlled how I saw myself. But now, as I looked at him, I realized he no longer had that power. I walked toward him calmly. "Welcome to Hillcrest," I said politely. For a moment, he just stared at me. "You've changed," he finally said. I smiled softly. "No," I replied. I finally remembered who I was. Later that night, after the guests left, I wandered through the room alone. Paintings covered the walls. The center was alive, and so was I. A few months later, Travis's company became involved in a major financial scandal. His perfect world collapsed almost overnight. But by then, I no longer felt anger toward him, only gratitude, because losing everything had forced me to find myself. Today, I still teach art classes at the center. I still paint sunsets in Lydia's garden. Sometimes life breaks you not to destroy you, but to rebuild you into someone you were always meant to become. The people who truly love you will never make you prove your worth. Because real love doesn't shrink your identity. And sometimes, the ending of one life is actually the beginning of the one you were waiting for all along.